Alright, working on my windmill here today. Did a video on when I lost control of it. Now I've got it laying down. It's not a bad day out there, but I've always had a vibration problem with it. And I have the windmill itself mounted on a bracket that's sitting on two 3/4 inch P204 pillow blocks. So, and might I mention, mounting it on bearings, it likes to yaw a lot, so I actually had to put a strap around it to put some drag on it because it actually turns too freely. Anyway, the system's been working now for a long time, a couple of years. But anyway, I thought I'd take the time because it vibrates so bad, and I don't mean vibrate out of balance. I mean vibrate because of there's no skew on the stator. So it actually sends a rumble down the tower. So I just thought I'd take some time here. I've got an old mud flap here, fairly heavy duty, just a spare one off. It's a cut off one of my trucks. I'm just going to take the time here to cut out a few damper pads, and we're going to try and eliminate the vibration coming down the tower because it is kind of annoying. I'm so used to it now, but when my neighbors come over and whatnot, I'm sure my one neighbor can probably hear it in low wind. So I'm going to make an attempt here to get rid of some of the vibration that it's caused by. So I'm going to mark some of this out here, and I've got a hole punch. I don't know how well it's going to work on this rubber. And I think I'm going to cut this rubber in the bandsaw, but we'll see how it goes. Might I say, this cheap little hole punch works really good on cutting holes in rubber. Doesn't even plug the tool up or nothing. You just give her a little touch with a screwdriver. Pound against wood. I just had a little piece of plywood down there, and works really good. Okay, off to the bandsaw now. We'll see if we can get these cut out. Alright, we got them cut out there. Bandsaw did a fine job, but I must say it was throwing the odd little spark. It's just a wood bandsaw. I don't know if there's a little bit of metal in there or what, but you just take her easy, and sure beats cutting it with the X-Acto blade. Oh, for now. Alright, so here we are at the mounting the PMA mount on my windmill. 33-foot tower, winch controlled, kind of convenient. Anyway, the little bit of vibration, or the moderate vibration that the PMA makes, which mounts right here, is transferred through these bearings that mounted to the tower and down the tower. So we're going to try and get our rubber mounts in, and all we're going to do is isolate these pillow blocks with rubber behind them, and then rubber on each nut and each head of each bolt. So hopefully I have enough bolt length there to do that, and with any luck we'll get this girl quietened down. I just wanted to show you here. Here's the brake I had to make. It's just a piece of old ratchet strap, and I just wrapped a hose clamp around it just to put some resistance on the shaft because I found it was a little bit too easy turning. So, alright, I'll try and get these on here and I'll give you an update. Here we are again. I've got the rubber mounts all installed here. So you'll see they actually come between the pillow block and the actual frame of the tower here. It doesn't mean there's nothing else on the tower that'll vibrate, but this here will definitely help, I think. The only way to do it is to try it, I guess. So you'll notice I've moved my brake up a little bit too. I'd undo it to do that. You see it's wearing the shaft just a little bit there, so I've readjusted it just so that there's a little bit of drag on the tail feather there, so it's not just sitting there rocking back and forth. I'm gonna maybe put the PMA back on here, and we'll get this bird flying again today here. I'm also going to install an animator up here. I have one that you don't have to climb the tower to change the batteries. It's got a nice long wire on it, So we'll get that installed on here today as well before we stand her up. Alright, our PMA is installed here. Made sure all the bolts are good and secure, lock washers on everything. Got 2 in the front there and just 1 up on here on the back here for a little support. And then I zip tie the electrical connection together. I do enjoy that quick attach. Hard wiring would be fine, but pulling the PMA would be a whole different job. So that's kind of how I do it. I have had these fail before. I have changed this one once already. So you want to make sure you use a good heavy duty one. So we'll go ahead and get the prop back on her here. We'll do a voltage check and we'll be ready to put the anemometer up. Alright, I've got my prop on here and I've just given her a spin test here, and you can hear there's still a little bit of vibration. But I think that's a far cry from what it was, so we'll give her a try like this and see how she goes. In some of my other videos you may have heard this old girl growling in the background. It's pretty easy to hear it from anywhere in the yard, so hopefully this here is what we need. Okay, we've got our anemometer mounted up there, based on a northwest wind or a west wind is usually what we get. And wire just runs down the tower here, so we're pretty well ready here to stand her up. I don't have a tripod here, so I'm not really going to be able to show the process of standing it up, but it's just a matter of heating up that winch there and she stands up quite easily, and then we just do up the clamps up there at the top to secure it. We leave the winch nice and snug. It helps secure the tower as well. And we just, if you're wondering, we just grazed those power lines with the prop. It was a very precise measurement, if you will. So next time we show this, we'll probably have a tower stood up and the birds flying. So I'm just midway through standing the tower here, and I realized I have one free hand, so I'll show you here how it's going. Just got the battery charger hooked up to the winch right now, and she's halfway up there. So I'll just see if I can get you a little bit of footage of the process. Just gonna turn the charger on here, and there we go. Starting to fly there. The wind's going the other direction, so that windmill should turn around into the wind here shortly. Alright, I better work with 2 hands here. I think I might have some snow trapped under here or something. I'll just have a look-see here. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention here, and the cable all spooled up onto the one side of the winch. I forgot you kind of got a hand bomb it there. The remote isn't working. It doesn't seem to like sitting outside in the winter. So that's no big deal. Just bear with me here. I'm trying to get my glove on. Okay, so I've got the lead switched around there, and I'll grab that there with my hand. Just turn the charger on here, and I'm going to steer that cable over with my hand, and I'll try and get some footage of it. I might have that brake set a little bit tight up there because the wind is actually out of the other direction. So I'll go ahead and get everything secured there, and we'll be good to go. Well, there she is. Facing the wrong direction. I think I got that brake set a little bit tight. Anemometer I just plugged in here. So we'll see what we have. That'll be a lot more accurate wind speed than anything down here on the ground. The anemometer just comes over here and into this transmitter here, which also indicates outside temperature. So we'll wait for it to send a signal there. It was just in the shop there, so it's saying plus 20 degrees. So anyways, you'll notice there's chicken wire here on the bottom of the tower. It's got to be fixed up. That is to keep children from climbing the tower. Kind of relieves the temptation, I guess. I leave the winch under pressure. There's a brake on it, and I've got my clamps done up, which are very, very necessary. So we've got about I don't know, 14 feet of tower sticking up past the shop there. It's very, very secure. Quite happy with it, but food for thought. The reason I have this antenna is it originally broke off at the ground. I've actually got another identical one here, and it did the exact same thing in the exact same spot. So that's food for thought. These antennas are not made for this, and I'm not suggesting this is how you use them. This is more or less my way of doing it, and if you decide to follow my footsteps, I wish you the best of luck, and feel free to leave any messages or comments if you have any questions about the system. I'd just like to say, keep the safety thing in mind at all times. My child plays over here, so we don't really want any loose parts flying off of there, or a tower coming down, so just keep that in mind. For now. Well, good morning to you here. Just wanted to show an update on my windmill here after we had the PMA down and we did some maintenance on it and a little bit of repair, and we actually put some rubber vibration dampers on. So you'll see we're at a 6-7 wind, gusting 9.8. Now I've actually mounted the anemometer on the northwest corner of the tower. And wouldn't you know it, the wind is out of the southeast. And a southeast wind here is not a good wind. But anyway, so that's all the anemometer's picking up is 6.7. I'm pretty sure it's windier than that out there. So I have just the one mill and the solar panels right now. These are the solar panels. This is the mill. So if I shut the panels off, you'll see a little bit of a drop in the ammeter there. A little bit of an increase. So the way I'll test it here is right now we're drawing about 4 amps off the mill. Now if you can hear it in the background there just slightly, if I shut this mill off, the amperage will drop and the mill will speed up. You'll hear it. And you'll hear it's freewheeling, and that's what you want to avoid with a windmill, is freewheeling. So when we turn this back on, the amperage will jump and the mill will slow. There we go. So now in order to test the brake on this particular system, I can't just throw the brake on. I do not have a proper brake switch. What I do is I short out the rectifier, but you cannot do that when you're hooked to the battery bank, or you will lose that battle. So what I do, just to check the brake, if I ever have to put the brakes on, I shut the mill off, and now I've got my furnace kicking on here. I'm just going to shut that off so we can hear. It'll just take a second there. So what I'll do is I'll shut the mill off, and you'll hear it freewheel, and then I'm just going to take positive and negative and ground them out with this lead here. So shut this off. And you can hear it stop. Brake's on. If I want to release the brake, just let her off. And then turn my windmill back on. Gotta make sure you can. This is my battery master switch. This shuts everything off, including the panels, and then these individually turn the panels on. So if I want to check my panels, It's not real sunny out, it's fairly early in the morning here yet. But if I just wanted to check my panels, I would just shut my mill off. And you see there's a little tiny bit of amperage there, nothing serious yet. They'll get up to about 18 today. There's my mill. So if I take you outside, we put a anti-vibration pads on yesterday. Now I know you can still hear the mill, but it is a far cry from what it was. Fortunately, I did not zip tie the whole anemometer wire, so it kind of tings against there, but it's a big difference. Here, I'll show you. It's fairly quiet now, but you hear that ticking? And if you look right there, I don't know if you can see it there, but it's actually that cord flipping in the wind. So I'll have to get up there when the snow melts. I'll have to cover up that wire, but you see how I have the anemometer? It's exactly opposite of what it should be right now. But usually our winds are out of the west or the northwest, that's why it's over there. So anyway, that's pretty quiet now. Quite happy with that. So just thought I'd show you that, a little bit of an update on the R&R, the PMA, and show you what you might expect out of yours. Out for now.